Welcome to Pure Episode 200, the episode 200 that is actually episode 200. It is really cool to think that I made it to episode 200 of my podcast, the podcast that I hope has helped a lot of people, and that's definitely helped me a lot. Today, we're just going to be diving into some of my thoughts, looking into the future of the podcast, some of my overall other struggles and stuff that's on my mind, and that's pretty much it. Maybe some thought patterns I've been deleting. I don't know. We'll see kind of where it goes. But as always, I really do appreciate you just listening to the podcast. And I don't know. I just hope you have I hope that it's a blessing in your day or commute or whatever, whenever you plug in, whenever you tune in. Every single download does matter. And I do appreciate every download. The podcast recently hit 5,500 downloads, and last week we hit 300 in a week, which is pretty good for the podcast. So I really see ourselves, if we stop focusing on the numbers and focus 100% on impact and just making a difference, I really think we could blow this thing out of the water by the end of the year. I really believe that. I don't believe in limiting myself. That's not good. But anyway, we're just going to jump right in now. Episode 200. Yeah, so one of the biggest things that I've really done is I've finished up my old gaming YouTube channel that I started with my friends. And it was really hard to do that because I started this when I was like back in high school and it was going to turn a decade old this year. But it was a persona and an identity that I found that was really starting to hold me back. Like, it was weird. It felt like I was like in the past. And since this past part of me still existed, it was hard when I was in my actual normal life sometimes to feel normal because I knew there was this part of me that wasn't sleeping, that like needed to be let go. I don't know. It's really hard. I'm going to keep thinking about this because it's so fascinating that I kept that channel and stuff alive for so long. I think a lot of it is because it was a group channel and because of other reasons, wanting to be perfect and stuff. But at the end of the day, it was affecting my quality of life so much because I kept making promises of this is when I'm going to end it. This is when I'm going to end it. And you think of like, if I'd done that with like the podcast, I mean, I've done that maybe a tiny bit, but like at some point you have to just look yourself in the mirror and say, are you ever going to do this? Or are we going to just have this live in the back of our minds until the end of time? It's like an illness, but you have every possible way to get it out of your system. You'd get to choose that. And it's taken some time. It's taken some real prayer. It's like, I know that everyone in God wants me to finish this up, but it's like, I don't know if I can really do that. There's so many other videos I wanted to do, but been praying a lot about it and just, I've been going ham on it. I've been just diving so deep and I'm like, okay, we're going to work so hard on this. So it's not going to even be on my mind after this week. I've been spending so much time. I mean, yesterday I spent, 5 or 6 hours probably working on it. And it's not like super high intensive stuff, but it was just emotionally gripping and taxing and all these beautiful things. But today is the day where I'm officially letting it go. And that's a very, very beautiful thing. And I'm already seeing the subscribers drop and it's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's like we are letting this go and now we're going to be in a new pond. Like, fully 100%. I couldn't be more excited to like have my brain let it do its thing. Like today I made a new logo for the podcast and it's probably not that great, but it's better than what's been on the podcast literally since its inception. It's better than that. I can say that. And it kind of looks clean when you look at it on Spotify. When you look at it like comparison to other logos, it might not look super good, but I think it's all right. I made it in like 2 hours on Canva, maybe an hour. It was more like an hour. I tweaked it up for another hour, and it can still be improved, but that was hype. And I was like, dude, okay, I can do that. If I can do that. And we've just been tapping into true Dallin lately. With finishing up this YouTube channel and working so hard on it, something I've been telling myself is like, you don't have the equipment, you don't have whatever to finish this. It's too big of a project now. no, I've been trusting God and I've been doing other stuff, and we are jumping over leaps and bounds. We're making it happen. And that's really the other thing that um that's something else that I really wanted to talk about is is like, you know, seeing that you can make it happen, then you prove it to yourself, and then you move on to other stuff, kind of like a video game. Once you've proven the truth and the, power and validity of one set of your powers, you can move on and validate other parts of it instead of saying like, this part of me is broken, it's not worth using, blah blah blah, and then you kind of shut down this whole region of your body and your mind and stuff. That's not good. Yeah, so I've been able to let that YouTube channel go, and so we're able to do other stuff, and that's a super beautiful thing. And already I'm like getting ideas for all these other things I can do, going all in on the podcast YouTube channel, and since I got the Canva Pro for like a month, it's like, all right, we're gonna go ham on thumbnails. Like I got nothing but time. I'm extremely disciplined. I'm gonna make this happen, and it's gonna be a good time. I'm very excited. As far as the podcast goes looking forward, I am still trying to figure out more who the podcast is for, especially since I'm out of college. I still love and want to help out college students, but I need to figure out like better how to structure it, like what I want to talk about more, and just nailing that down. Same thing with like interviews. Still planning on doing interviews. I still get, I don't know, 4 or 5 people that ask to be on the podcast each week, which is cool and humbling. It means I have at least some kind of a decent rep there. It's just continuously shining a good light on that and putting it out on the YouTube channel, not burning myself out. That's really important to me. I really am trying to get to a point. No, I'm going. Let's stop saying trying. I'm getting to a point where it is consistent and where I can just set it and forget it. I just put out the episodes, and it really is systemifying everything. That's what I'm really working on right now, is like, okay, get the episodes out on Monday without fail and do stuff throughout the week so that that system always works, that doesn't ever fall apart. I think in the past I struggled, well, I know a little bit in the past I would struggle with doing different things on consistent days, and so I wouldn't be able to put it out. It'd be a lot harder to put out an episode on Monday like I wanted to. But now that I'm like, okay, let's get the Yield Today podcast going again, like the YouTube channel, and I've been recommitted to that. It's like, okay, well, we need to improve our systems to make this work. And that's what I've really been doing. I've stopped chopping at the tiny little leaves in my tree, and I'm just like, all right, let's just go straight to the root. Like, what is it, the root? Like, the literal root of Dallin. Like, we want the literal roots. We want to affect those. We want to put water. We want to make those better. So that's what we've really been doing. And it has been beautiful, honestly. Like, I haven't even been graduated for a month yet, and I feel like I've made a ton of progress. So we're just going to keep that ball rolling. And with the podcast, the intention was to do it for a long time, and I really don't see a reason not to do it for a long time. I will tell you that recently I was just feeling super overwhelmed because an episode was taking forever to edit, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should just take a long break from the podcast. But then I listened to the one episode, the one I recently uploaded, and I just felt so good, and I'm like, no. Well, we cannot do that. This is something that helps me so much, especially since I've let the gaming YouTube channel go. Considering how much I've been able to work on the podcast with all that in my mind in the past, with that not even on my mind anymore, with that identity completely just part of me, but not a separate part of me, it's accepted, It's been grafted in to the Dallin Candland family of experiences, and it's like it's given that like that the due date, the destination. It reached its destination. It's not like it was traveling on a plane forever and ever and ever, just delayed, or like a patient that is on life support. It's not that. It's like it's moved on. It's reached its destination. It's here. It's me. And I can move on and take it with me, all the valuable experiences. And I'm sure I'll talk about that. I want to appear on so many podcasts. So I only appeared on like 5 or 6 last year. I think I've only appeared on like 7, maybe, in my whole time of being on Earth. What? We need to really, really get better at that. And we are. Oh, we are. We're going to get so much better at that. And I'm excited. But we're just, I've really learned from doing this podcast. I have so many good ideas, but it's really easy to just get swallowed up in one and just kind of lose sight of other ones. And so I just kind of get like my passion just, well, there's this hymn that I love from church. It basically says, passion shatters reason's tower, makes the clearest vision blind. I believe I'm a man of extreme vision and just able to help a lot of people and also myself. However, when I get really excited about something, it's easy to get a little bit too crazy. And all of a sudden we're devoting 3 hours to learning about this thing when I really do not need to do that. I need to stick with the other stuff so those things can keep going. And this is one of the things that I've really learned again, is that whenever something is going really well, that's generally when somebody is going to do less of what got them there. And that's what Mr. Beast talks about this. There's other people that talk about this. Mr. Beast is like, well, if I started a podcast, then I would need everything to go back into the YouTube, because the YouTube's the main thing. Is like, there's a lot of times when people will start something else like that, and then they're, taking more brand deals, or they're doing something that takes away from what got them where they wanted to be in the first place. It'd be like if I just started appearing on podcasts all the time, but I never made time for my own. I don't know. You have to be very careful of how you use your time. And especially as you're growing in success, you have to be very careful of what you say yes to. Because as James Clear says, yes is a responsibility. No is just a choice. I can't remember what it was. I'm running on very little sleep. I'm being completely honest, but I'm excited. I'm happy. We've been doing so much internal work, and I'm not even sharing all of it because I found that, especially with talking about the self-care handbook, I can't believe we're bringing that up again. It's great to have these ideas, but to get them out in the public eye is really scary. Considering if I was let's just imagine that I was this heavily traded entity in the stock market, and it was worth a certain amount of money, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to build a self-care handbook, and then stock goes through the roof. But then a month later, wait a second, Dallin's only started the first page, but he hasn't really done anything else. Stock starts dipping, and so you just have to be very careful. And that's what I've been doing. I've been really, really more intentional and just trying to take a lot more ownership of my life. And opportunities are coming. They are. And I am, again, just taking different things out. The YouTube channel is just the first step. There's other steps I'm taking, and I'm sure it's just going to lead to all kinds of stuff. I need to I still have a lot of sticky notes and other stuff I need to go through, because I write down everything. I need to keep improving at that, and I'm going to. It's going to be good. But yeah, so there's a lot to look forward to. For now, Monday, Thursday uploads. I'm feeling pretty happy today. I'll probably record a couple episodes today. I'm in a good vibe, and I'm in a really good mood. It's just, I got so used to feeling stressed and just that I was behind and that I just wouldn't catch up on this YouTube channel, that it just became my normal a little bit. So if I wasn't feeling that, I was like, well, I don't deserve to feel this feeling because I have all these other things I need to finish. And it's a really irrational, but now that channel is literally done, I think I've made 5 or 6 videos in the last couple days. It's been a lot of work, but it's been beautiful. It's I can push myself and I can do this. I can get so dialed into this. I know this is literally just me hyping up myself, but oh well. It's I can get so dialed into this, and it's a beautiful thing. I really do love this. And yeah, so gonna get some interviews up soon. I need to figure out that schedule. Honestly, that's something I need to figure out. And I'm going to figure it out because we need to get the podcast in a better spot. It's in a good spot already, but we need to keep improving it. But yeah, one step at a time. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Just one little step at a time. And it's going to lead to lots of good stuff, I'm sure. So check out the Yield Today If Down Candland YouTube channel, or yeah, the podcast YouTube channel. It's just called Yield Today If Down Candland Podcast. I think it has 50 subscribers. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you on there. I'm not sure the best way to communicate with you wonderful people, but that's one way. You can also reach out to me on Instagram. I haven't been checking it recently because I'm just really trying to dial in on myself and not get distracted at all with anything that would throw me off. But I don't know. This was I really want to give back more to the audience. I do want to I just want to give back more, however it is. And I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff, whether it's get a blog finally going or email list, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be great. I'm not going to have all these other things holding me back. And I've been building myself up a lot over these last couple days, reading a lot of good books. I mean, it's been good. It's been really good. It really has. So I'm excited. I'll share more as more happens. But for now, just thank you so much for 200 episodes. Like, it's a beautiful thing. I don't know. And for me, it's really nice going back to old episodes. It just feels good. And I hope that the podcast has helped you with reaching some of your goals and loving yourself more and just digging deep into your life, because it is a beautiful life. And there's always more you can learn from a little bit of writing, meditation, even just talking to yourself. Like, honestly, opening up a voice memo and just talking about how you're feeling, that is such good therapy. I do it all the time. You just have to be careful what kind of mood you're feeling, like what vibe you're feeling, because it can get a little bit like you just are talking and then you get upset, and then all of a sudden you're upset and your emotions go a little bit crazy. But I would just recommend, from my 800 or 900 recordings I've done, just to be, intentional about it, kind to yourself, and remember that in this moment you're experiencing all those emotions in their highest state generally, and it will dull over time. Inspiration has an expiration date. That's another amazing quote I've been pondering recently from Naval Ravikant. I don't know. There's a lot of really cool people that I'm planning to interview on the podcast soon. I don't know. I feel like a lot of it I've been limiting myself and holding myself back. Like, oh, they never say yes. But like all these thoughts, I mean, they're so irrational. And probably the biggest roadblock in my life is gone at this point. It's a beautiful thing. There's still some videos I'm going to do because the day is still young and I'm crazy, and I'm going to always try to finish strong on things. But yeah, I am 100% more committed to this podcast than I was a week ago, just because of how much work I've put into other parts of my life and just making more space in my brain. And it's a beautiful thing. I really see myself improving my output and input and everything, and just getting other help from other people. I think all that will add up to a lot. No, I know it's going to add up to a lot, because I've kind of been in my own isolation chamber sometimes and haven't asked people for help about, like, what do you think about this or what do you think about that? But we've rambled a ton. Thank you again just so much for 200 episodes. I really, really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys next Monday. Thank you again. And don't forget to yield today. It'll be a better tomorrow. Wow.